hysterectomy, is it true that you no longer need need a pap smear?
So, yes and no, and it depends on the type of hysterectomy you had. So this is one of my favorite things to clarify with patients. So patients will come in often and they use terminology, I had a partial hysterectomy or I had a total hysterectomy. And you guys may have heard friends say that, or my mama had a partial or a total. So let's clarify, let's talk about it, right? So hysterectomy refers just to the removal of the uterus, right? The uterus is separate from the ovaries. So having a hysterectomy has nothing to do with your ovaries. We're going to take your ovaries out. We're going to call that an oophorectomy. We're going to tack that on. That's an additional thing that we're doing at the time of the surgery. So hysterectomy means just removal of the uterus. Now, sometimes we do not remove the entirety of the uterus. What do I mean? Well, sometimes if you have an abdominal hysterectomy, meaning an incision in your abdomen, and we go in, for whatever reason, say you've had multiple surgeries before, or C-section or scar tissue, we may not be able to access the cervix. The cervix is the lower part of the uterus that's in the vagina, that opening in the vagina, at the back of the vagina is the cervix. When it dilates and opens when you have your baby, right? So that cervix is the lowest part. So when you're taking the uterus out from the abdominal approach, you've got to get down to that cervix. You have to dissect the bladder off, you've got to go low down in the back, and get that tissue so that you can remove the entirety of the uterus. We may not be able to remove the cervix, right? And so that's called a supracervical hysterectomy. It's not a partial. Well, I guess that could be what when people say partial, but generally what they mean partial is that they had their uterus removed and their ovaries stayed in. But that means everything was removed, your uterus in its entirety, including the cervical body, okay? If you've had your ovaries removed, you've had an oophorectomy. The ovaries are separate structures from the uterus, okay? They have their own blood supply, their own pedicles. It's not the same thing. So taking out the uterus is a hysterectomy, taking out the ovaries is an oophorectomy. People commonly say I had a total, meaning they had their uterus and ovaries removed, which we do often together. But we call that a total abdominal hysterectomy and a bilateral salpingo oophorectomy, meaning we took out your ovaries, your tubes, and your uterus. So let's say you had a hysterectomy. A total hysterectomy, right? Okay, your whole uterus and cervix came out. Do you need a pap smear? Well, if your indication for your hysterectomy was, say, painful bleeding or uterine fibroids or something totally benign, right? It was not a precancerous lesion. It wasn't because you had cervical dysplasia, meaning all of these irregular pap smears. It kept getting progressively worse, and the decision was made to take the uterus out to prevent them from recurring. Then no, you don't need a pap smear. Why? Because the pap smear is a screening test for cervical cancer. And what did we just say about a hysterectomy? What did we take out? The whole thing, the uterus with the cervix, right? So you don't need a pap smear because you don't have a cervix, and a pap smear is a screening for cervical cancer. So if you've had a hysterectomy for a benign indication, you do not need any further pap smears. I know that was the long way around. It wasn't the long way around. But I feel like if you don't take the long way around, then you still get confused and you don't understand. And we use a lot of different terminology. I know I do. I'm sure, I have cousins who are, attorneys or judges, and I'm using lingo I hear on Law and Order, and I know they're looking at me like, stop. Sometimes we use terms that aren't necessarily medical terms to describe medical procedures, and it's important that you're able to communicate with your doctor, especially if it's not the doctor that did the procedure, what happened to your body. So I always try to take the time with the patient to explain it, even though I can be long-winded, what we really are doing. So they know and they can explain it to the next person.